This is the new era. This is the new band, and we're unbreakable.
We can rebuild him. We have the technology. We can make him better than he was. Better, stronger, faster. Actually, better, stronger,
faster. Is that a
faster.
line from Starship Troopers or something?
No, it's actually the $1 Million Man.
$6 Million Man. I know that, and
I don't even know what that is.
We Brits don't do excitement, so this is the best you're gonna get.
Chris is bringing the noise today, apparently.
Speaking of vanilla,
it's just I don't understand why.
I don't think anyone does. I don't think Travis Green understands.
Talking you through every goalie controversy, scoring slump, and draft lottery bust. This is the C4 Podcast on CanucksHockeyBlog.com and CKNW.com. Here they are, fresh from folding towels, sharpening skates, and washing jock straps. Chris, Matt, Anna, and Adam.
Welcome to another episode of the C4 Canucks Hockey Podcast. I am Chris Golden at Lightforce, joined in the sauna by Anna Forsyth at A4603 and Matt Lee at _61. Missing in action, last minute cancellation, Adam O'Neill Carter at Adam FOC. Something about, I don't know.
Back spasms.
Back spasms, yeah, that was probably it.
Yeah, he wasn't going to be on until like, what, the 7 o'clock boat or something like that?
Yeah, he's in tough.
The tide waits for no Adam.
The future called upon him, so he's teaching the kids of tomorrow, and he's no.
We were.
It's at the point where I don't defend him anymore, you know.
We were also hoping to have some special guests, but they too had things come up. So those special guests are going to come to you sometime in the new year.
Can we talk about who it was going to be?
No.
Are we not going to do that?
You just gotta wait. It's like Christmas. You just gotta wait. Like your presents are under the tree.
We won't say who it was. But did you see the beef that this person was getting into with a certain NHL player?
No, I did not see this.
Okay.
Is it on Twitter? I gotta
look. You'll have to check it out. It's pretty good.
Have you heard of Twitter, Chris?
I've never been on Twitter before.
There's this thing called Twitter. Maybe you've heard of it. You can follow me, Matt Lee _61, and Anna at A4603.
I'm pretty sure I blocked you.
Fair enough.
Are you going to give me that whole spiel about how Kevin Weeks blocked you again?
Okay,
we're not going to talk. We're not going to rehash. We're not going to rehash why Kevin Weeks blocked you. Let's just get to the show.
Yeah. So, what have you guys been up to? It's been a while since I've seen you, Matt. Anna and I got together for OTR. It was like the glorious OTR.
Was there another Overwatch involved in this?
No.
There was no computer video games or any Death Stars that Chris was talking about blowing up or anything.
No. We got into it good. It went on for quite a while, but it was enjoyable.
Yeah, 40 minutes OTR.
Oh, God, I didn't even listen, to be honest.
Well, no, because, see, you don't appreciate OTR.
Because I thought already it was going to be about Overwatch.
No.
It's about music.
Oh.
Yeah, the sounds of music.
Indifferent. Oh, not a great Christmas movie.
Hey, you know what I did?
It's not a Christmas movie.
But people watch it around Christmas for some reason.
Hey, Baby Force switched it to off the Canucks game on Saturday to Sound of Music, and then stopped and watched it and sort of bounced along.
Yeah,
with the
she's
music.
not your daughter then.
Like it was actually so cute.
It's entertaining. That is very cute, but like that's like a game where I'd be like, for once it was quite entertaining. And I like Sound of Music, but
yeah, it was an entertaining game for those who were in the barn. But I wanted to share that I was actually connecting with our C4 listeners at a whole different level.
If this is about Fortnite, I'm ahead of you. I already did this.
Well, no, you did it. But
I played with Fortnite. I played Fortnite with them.
Yeah.
I played with Nexus and I played with Trev Goldie.
Yeah,
Shout out to Nexus and Trev Goldie, who may or may not be listening live right now on Patreon.
Did you get a victory royale with them?
No.
Yeah. See,
I think I was holding them back, to be honest.
See, Trev and Nexus and I went full potato. Nexus went full pro, and then Trev Goldie, he's like Mr. Clutch. He got us our umbrella, which for those who don't know Fortnite, that means you've won a game in a particular season.
I do smell another Battle Royale for all four of us sometime during the holiday season.
Yeah, see Fortnite.
Yeah.
Anywho, I did some Christmas shopping today.
Ooh. What's your
I got the Dad Lee his present.
And I asked Stark
was it a pair of binoculars?
See, no. He said it was binoculars. He said it was night vision goggles. You guys are thinking along the same wavelengths. No. I got him a Bo Horvat and Gus bobblehead.
Cute.
So
I didn't know that existed.
He does collect bobbleheads. He is apparently a fan of Bo Horvat, as some of you may or may not know.
Does he listen to the podcast?
No, he doesn't, so don't worry. That's why I'm telling you.
Watch him like 2 minutes.
Hashtag spoiler alert.
Yeah.
He's not listening, don't worry. If he was listening, he would have given me a lot more crap about talking about his Bo Horvat neighborhood spy stories.
Neighborhood Watch with Dad Lee.
That's the episode. That's a segment we need.
I really want him on.
He joked to me that he should throw a neighborhood Christmas block party and only send the invite to Horvat.
Okay,
And Horvat comes in with good old Mrs. Horvat and asks, where is everybody? Oh, yeah, they're coming. Don't worry.
But see, this is the thing. One, if Bo were to actually come, that's one thing. But two, I think he'd catch on real quick if he was the only one there.
So, got him a Bo Horvat and Gus bobblehead on sale at Team Store, by the way, $18.
Ooh.
Had to hold myself back on buying the Brock Besser bobblehead, which is there as well.
So that explains the picture we saw in Discord earlier with the jerseys and stuff.
Yes.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah. The best-selling Michael Del Zotto jerseys were there as well.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
There seemed to be quite a few of those
in
comparison to the Pettersson jerseys.
Did it come with a complimentary CD of all of his greatest hits?
No, but they should have that.
Yeah.
That's a marketing campaign. I think they've.
I'm surprised we didn't see a Hits King jersey in there.
Was this a thing here where they sell CDs at gas stations and they're just the worst CDs ever?
Yeah, they were in the reject pile and stuff like that. Yeah, that's the thing here, isn't it?
Really? Is it? I don't know. I've never seen.
Maybe
CDs
at an
in
A and B
gas
Sound.
station.
You remember those?
Well, A and B Sound was phenomenal. I miss A and B Sound.
We got to talk about hockey. So we'll talk a little bit about the Vancouver Canucks' weekend victories over both the Edmonton Oilers as well as, oh my gosh, I'm already blanking. Who did they play?
Philadelphia
Thank
Flyers.
you.
Yeah, Coach Killers.
Coach Killers, yes. Dave Hackstall fired this morning. We'll talk about Elias Pettersson versus Connor McDavid. I can't believe the best player in the world is getting compared to Connor McDavid. We'll also talk a little bit about Ken Hitchcock complaining about how McDavid was getting clutched and grabbed to hell. It's something the Canucks fans remember a little bit. And a couple other little ditties before we head into Half Full, Half Empty. Sound good?
Yeah, okay.
All right, rewind.
So, Canucks are currently on, a 5-game win streak. And this is Markstrom, his first 5-game win streak of his entire career.
Yeah. Remember how long he had to wait for a shutout?
Actually, that's true. He did wait a long time. And in fairness to Markstrom, the team that plays in front of him does not believe in not allowing the puck into the crease.
The other thing that I noticed, and I pointed this out in Discord earlier today. Don't look at it. Don't look at it, Chris. That's trivia. It's trivia. Jacob Markstrom moved into 6th all-time among Canucks goaltenders in games played. Can you name at least 4 of the 5 goaltenders who have played more games in a Vancouver Canucks jersey than Jacob Markstrom?
Luongo, McLean, Cloutier.
Yes. This is where it gets hard. Yeah. That's what she said.
Brodeur?
Yes.
Oh,
can you get the 5th one? This is the really hard one.
Yeah, I mean, literally the first 3.
Potvin?
No.
As far as I was going.
That's a good guess, though.
I'm trying, I guess.
How many
how many
did you say?
5. He's got 4 of the 5. I will say, I'll save you the guess. Ryan Miller was behind Jacob Markstrom now.
Yeah, no, okay, but...
Yeah, that's who I was,
Yeah, I would have thought that, too.
No, and the only reason I didn't say Miller is I felt that his tenure was too short, but I'm just trying to think, Potvin would have been too short, too. Who would have been in?
It would be one Gary the Suitcase Smith.
Okay.
That's a tough one. It is a tough one.
Way back.
Yeah. But very quietly, I thought, has it already been that long, or is it that sad that Jacob Markstrom has played the 5th most games as a Vancouver Canuck among goaltenders?
Well, it makes sense in so much to the number of games he's been getting, but it is kind of shocking considering Miller is not that long away from the Vancouver Canucks.
And yet, it hasn't really had a long, sustained period of being a number 1 goaltender.
And I guess that goes to say how few games Miller played due to injury.
Yeah.
Right, where Markstrom would have been.
And then they kind of transitioned into a 1A, 1B setup.
Yeah, and then which is sort of what it is now, but it isn't. Anyhow.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it 1A, 1C? I don't know.
No, there's no A here. It's 1B, 1C.
When it's all said and done, where do you think Markstrom finishes his tenure with the Vancouver Canucks in terms of game played? Is it going to be just behind Luongo and Kirk McLean? I feel like he could play into his way to getting the 3rd most games.
Theoretically, he's back next season.
Yep.
And then beyond that is the big unknown, depending on
Yeah.
I would guess he is not.
I mean, I'm saying if there's about half a season left, he probably gets at least half of those games now.
Yeah.
And then maybe he plays another 55 next year. I mean, that's a lot of additional games to his name. And I haven't looked up how much, Gary Smith and Kluche have, but it's up there. So in terms of stability, though, there is a little bit of stability, I think, with Jacob Markstrom. And maybe that's me putting the cart before the horse because he's played so well lately.
Fair enough.
Can we talk about Connor McDavid versus Elias Pettersson?
Yeah, Connor didn't have himself a good game because apparently
I think he had one shot.
He, was being hooked, grabbed, tackled, hacked, and slashed.
Was Cole Castles in the lineup?
Not Canadian for hit me or...
Yeah. Do you remember once upon a time that they talked about Cole Castles shutting down McDavid and the Erie Otters in his pre-draft year, and we had teased that it would be Castles shutting down McDavid?
I don't recall that. Did we actually say that?
I mean, there had been some scuttlebutt, and I can't remember who his junior team was. Maybe you can remind me, Anna. Was
Castles?
Yeah.
Oshawa.
It was Oshawa, right?
Yeah.
He played for the Oshawa Generals in the OHL, and I believe they were playing McDavid and the Erie Otters in the OHL Championship Final, and it was Castles who, quote-unquote, shut down McDavid. And Canucks fans at the time were saying, this is the answer! This is the guy who's going to shut down and contain McDavid in the NHL. No, it's Bo Horvat.
It wasn't just Bo Horvat, but yeah, definitely.
It was definitely a team effort, of course, but I think Horvat was the centerpiece of that. First of all, let's talk about the quote-unquote non-calls that Ken Hitchcock claimed McDavid was getting. Did he have a case?
Okay, I'm a Canucks fan, so maybe there's some bias here, but quite frankly, I did not see the Canucks get away with anything egregious.
Mm-hmm. No, nothing you weren't saying he was... You could say, I guess maybe he's calling a little of a loose game, but...
Yeah, and
maybe, looking back on it.
We didn't see officiating that was any different than any other game that we would see over the course of the season. That was the thing, nothing egregious. That was wow, man. There'll always be those Canucks fans who, no matter what the call happens to be, it's come on, ref.
Yeah.
None of that existed. It was just... I quite honestly believe it was the Oilers falling asleep, the Canucks taking advantage of that, and then putting the oil on the back foot the rest of the game, more than any non-call that may or may not have existed. When Hitch started sort of going off, the first thing that reminded me of was Brian Burke trying to take the heat off his team.
Yeah, and the thing is, his team let him down. If Connor McDavid's being shut down, other players aren't doing their job, because I know that was Bo Horvat's job, but Bo Horvat can't always get on the ice at the same time as Connor McDavid. He can't line match every single shift, and Connor McDavid was playing pretty much every other shift. So his if that was happening, that's his team's fault for not protecting Connor McDavid.
There was a tweet a few weeks back, and I believe I shared it in Gate 16 in Discord. But someone had done the math on the Edmonton Oilers where Connor McDavid is in the lineup and generates offense. And ultimately, when he's not in the lineup, there is such a significant goal effort or goal deficit that the Edmonton Oilers require Connor McDavid to score a minimum of 2 goals to keep them in a game, and then from there, beyond that, to actually win. So ultimately, you keep Connor McDavid to no goals, it's almost a guaranteed win with the Oilers. So I don't think anything to do with non-calls has any bearing on the result.
So for Ken Hitchcock, is this one of those wily veteran coaching moves where it's squeaky wheel gets the grease in the future?
Oh, yeah, no. And I don't know if it's squeaky wheel gets the grease. I mean, he does raise a good point. The NHL collectively has a problem in protecting its star players.
But that has historically been a problem.
Yeah,
that's not a Connor McDavid thing.
Not its strong point.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't think he is saying anything that any other coach has never thought about, their star players. Mm-hmm. That said, I don't see this as being anything more than trying to take some heat off of the team. Which one of the papers in Edmonton Journal or whatever?
Edmonton Journal, yeah. They wrote about the game on Saturday instead of the game on Sunday, right?
Well, so the tweet, it was a scheduled tweet, actually. Yeah. And ultimately, the article that they had written about the Edmonton Oilers win over the Flyers, it was a critique. And in turn, it just came out moments after the Oil lost to the Canucks. If the media are already locally critiquing a win as saying, well, they lucked out, I can imagine what it would be like when they come into Vancouver, they get that first goal, and the next thing you know, Vancouver gets the next 3, and ultimately they lose 4-2. So I can see Hitch being the wily veteran, trying to take the heat off his team, trying to deflect, get the media to talk about another news story, that being officiating in NHL.
All right, so let's move on to Connor McDavid versus Elias Pettersson, and we've seen the graphic on Sportsnet. Elias Pettersson, through his first 30 career games in the NHL, he has one more extra point than Connor McDavid. Therefore, that means Elias Pettersson is better than Connor McDavid, right?
Right.
Right? Crickets? No? It sounds kind of crazy, but is it too crazy to suggest that Pettersson is at least in the same breath as Connor McDavid?
I wouldn't say it's crazy. I think it's just a little early to say any of that. Like, Connor McDavid is elite. And let's talk about how he was quiet, and really he was, but he still got an assist last night. Like, that kind of shows you, like, you really can't completely contain him. He's a, like, elite generational player. Pettersson looks pretty damn good, but we'll see, right?
Do you think we're nuts? Am I drinking the Kool-Aid?
Well, I'm just thinking back to how I took heat when I went and compared Pettersson to
Wayne
the most
Gretzky.
exciting thing since Pavel Bure. I would not go out and compare him to Wayne Gretzky. Let Wayne Gretzky say that he sees a lot of him in Pettersson.
Yeah, Edmonton was so mad about that.
The thing about Pettersson, though, is that if you look and try to say, he compare him to McDavid, they're two different players. I think they're both phenomenal, and I think Pettersson is going to have, a significant career in the NHL. And yes, I agree, it's early on, but they're different. It'd be no different than going and saying, Daniel and Henrik Sedin were equivalent to, like, Brett Hull and Adam Oates. Mm-hmm. Generational players in completely different generations.
Maybe I'm walking this back, but I'm starting to think Pettersson may be as exciting as Pavel Bure.
No, we'll have to.
Let me drink the Light Force Kool-Aid.
Yeah. Let's get out the list. You've just made it. I'd play the drop right now, but we currently have no one producing the show.
Can I just say it's not as hot in here as it was the last 2 weeks for me?
That's because we've got a bigger room.
And I'm wearing a T-shirt this time.
Yeah. So how was
But you are still wearing Lycra.
Yeah. That's the thing.
It is wet outside.
How was the shoebox that you and Adam were in last week?
Cozy. Yeah, very cozy.
That picture looked like you guys were, getting into it.
It was a love-in.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it's not a
It was literally a recording studio the size of a closet. Moving on here. Bo Horvat shutting down Connor McDavid as well. Is this just the next stage of Bo Horvat's development, that he just keeps finding ways to be an impactful player, not just for what he puts up on the board, but the fact that he is the Canucks leader in faceoffs? I think he's the NHL leader in faceoffs won.
Considering he's out there for, 3/4 of them.
I mean, this is... I don't want to say this is peak Bo Horvat, because it's like every time we think that Bo Horvat has reached his peak, he finds another way to take his game to another level. Is this a thing where we can no longer say what Bo Horvat's ceiling is and what he can do on the ice?
Yeah, it's like Travis just keeps asking more and more of him, and he keeps delivering. I know it's kind of come down from Jim and maybe even ownership to Travis that they want to see, like, more from Bo Horvat, and kind of it's his team, but, like, he has to show it, right? And they've pushed him on his game in every which way, and he's delivered in, like, every case.
The thing about showing it, I think if there was one event where Bo Horvat was showing that it was his team, was when he was getting in front of Jake Virtanen from taking a stupid penalty.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Well, this was as they were about to go on a power play, right?
And you see Horvat get up, get in between, get into Jake's sort of face, tell him, like,
this is an important power play. Don't give him. Yep.
Yeah, and ultimately the Canucks were able to cash one in. So
and Horvat scores the tying goal in the dying seconds, of course, as well.
I go back to my earlier point that Bo Horvat should have been given the captaincy.
Yep.
Yeah.
And all we're continuing to see is more and more reasons why he will get it next year. And you know what? Maybe it's a smart marketing play here where, it's the 50th season of the Vancouver Canucks. You're going to have the Sedins being retired. You're going to have Bo Horvat get to see. Like, I could see how the
chills are down my spine already, Chris.
God,
you know,
imagine
there's
how much
so
this
much
is
that's going to be
gonna
happening. So, okay, you know what? I will give them a pass that they're thinking from a marketing perspective, but he's the captain. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, that A is just like, there's a C there.
Yeah, it's just a C that's upside down with a line in it right now.
And just to further your point, I mean, I stopped tuning into him a long time ago, but Ron McLean saying after that game that Horvat was showing shades of Trevor Linden. And you know what? It's hard to disagree. You look at what Horvat brings on quite a daily basis every night, and the similarities are almost quite uncanny.
Well, you look at Linden in his early years, he was being relied on as that sort of next skilled player. It really wasn't until Pavel Bure got to take that mantle off of Trevor, which then allowed Trev to really focus on his game.
Yeah, that's a really good point, actually. The kind of emergence of Pettersson and Brock Besser alongside him has really taken the weight off Bo in terms of being like really the only player delivering in terms of offense a season or two ago, and now he kind of can use that space to develop his game into a more well-rounded fashion, I guess.
Yeah, and I think it's that pressure that does not exist that's allowing him to be the guy that's taking like 3/4 of all Canucks face-offs, be the guy that's on the ice almost every second, third shift. Like it's
I mean that's still a lot of pressure, really. Like,
and he seems to be relishing it, right? Like the fact that
I just hope that loss and he doesn't break.
In that overtime loss, the fact that Bo Horvat's man was the one who ultimately scores that goal. Afterwards, Bo's talking about, that's on me. I let him get away. Now, when you watch the replay, Bo was giving it his all. It just happened to be a faster skater in front of him who had a little bit of a lead. Bo could not catch up. It wasn't that he was bagged, having gone and put in like close to a period and a half of ice time. It's not a guy that looked like he had just mailed it in. And so when the media were trying to give him a pass, hey, Bo, what about that goal to get to overtime? What about standing in front of Virtanen to make sure that he doesn't take a silly penalty? Like, they're actually going and feeding him. He's like, you know what? Yeah, it's all great, but you know what? I cost us the game. He is the leader.
Yeah.
Come at me. Bo Horvat is Trevor Linden. Elias Pettersson is Pavel Bure.
So what does...
the 90s reborn.
What's Brock Besser in the mix? Like Russ Courtnall?
Jeff Courtnall?
Well, Russ was the more...
Russ Courtnall was here for a hot minute, Golden.
But Russ was the more skill... Okay, maybe Jeff, because he's here longer. I mean, I don't know. Like, Cliff Ronning? Just a little bit taller?
Yeah, a lot.
Greg Adams?
I know, Greg...
Adams was kind of a plug, though.
He was, to your words, just a guy.
Yeah,
but
I was about to say
who was the most, like, just gets stuff done, nice guy, vanilla, doesn't stand out from the...
Okay, I resent that, by the way. We're going to talk about that in a second.
Okay.
Anyway. No. Horvat is Linden. Bure, Pettersson. Come at me.
And then there's Brock Besser, who just, showed
He
up.
exists as a 35-goal scorer.
Brock Besser was the player the Canucks needed in '94 to beat the Rangers.
All right, we're going to take a bit of a break. We'll come back. We'll talk about Jake Virtanen. We'll talk about if you're buying or selling at the deadline if you're the Vancouver Canucks. All that and more. Coming up, C4 Podcast, CanucksHockeyBlog.com.
Take hitting out of the game. You can't hit anymore, so don't do it.
The unsportsmanlike conduct, I want to get an explanation on that.
No kidding.
Because how do you get suspended for unsportsmanlike conduct?
Plus interference. There's no interference there. He had the puck.
Now, Madison never ever did that before. Now, why did he do it? And that because he was mad.
Well, your early favorite for the Calder Trophy, that's for sure. Elias Pettersson, you might even say your early favorite for the Hart Trophy.
Just to get back to your question, Elias is going to play plenty. He's going to get a lot of power play time. And, yeah, I'm concerned about our offense. We lost 200-point players, and we've got to find a way to score.
So... coming into the break, you just brought up the point, are the Vancouver Canucks buyers or sellers?
As I throw my paper on the ground, to hell with this rundown, we're going to talk about this. How dare you call Brock Besser vanilla?
We're going to start on that.
How dare you, ma'am?
I did say, like, on the ice, he's super exciting, and I don't care if he's
Did
really
you not watch
boring.
Building Brock?
I did.
Did you watch it?
I have not watched it
right
yet.
before bed, which worked
that
out
was
quite well.
a nightcap and a half for me.
How long is it?
It's half hour.
So it's like,
can you really be bothered?
Finding Big Country.
I think Trev Goldie uploaded it in Discord as well.
It is. I know it's there, and I plan on watching it. I'm just curious. Anyhow, continue your argument.
Well, it's not an argument. Like, I think
I will let you speak.
Great on the ice. He seems like a super nice guy. He just, like, his tone of voice and his, like, personality in interviews just, like, saps energy from the room. And I just don't care about it. Like, he has the personality of a cheese sandwich, but I don't care.
You heard it here first on C4. Anna Forsyth says Brock Besser has the personality of a cheese sandwich.
Okay.
I said it.
It's an interesting opinion. You're wrong.
Okay.
But first of all, cheese sandwiches are great if done correctly.
Yeah.
Brock Besser, I think, is a lot more than the person that you see in the media and stuff like that.
Oh, I'm sure he's a good laugh.
Okay, but like this is a guy who, like, if you follow Brock Besser on Instagram, like, he takes his dog out just to go see the Vancouver Christmas tree at the art gallery. Like, he's a salt of the earth guy who doesn't mind going out in public.
Yeah.
I've seen people take pictures and selfies with Brock Besser. He's obliged every single time. This is a guy who knows what it means to be a professional.
I'm not saying he's not nice. He's nice. He's lovely.
So what
I'm just saying,
what makes other people have more colorful personalities?
Look at Kevin Bieksa. Every, like, interview with him.
So because Brock Besser is not a great sound clip, he therefore has
He's not very witty, is he?
Yeah.
Or anything.
Do you think Elias Pettersson is as dull as dishwater?
No. I think it's, like, you can tell he's a bit more switched on.
Yeah, there's some personality with Petey. Now, I want to fairly point out, I don't think the Vancouver Canucks need a team full of Kevin Biekses.
No. And I'm not even saying I want to see Brock be hilarious, but I'm just saying he's not. Like.
So if Brock Besser is a cheese sandwich, what kind of sandwich is juice?
That sounds like a trick question.
Spicy tomato.
He's not a sandwich at all. He's a taco.
I mean, just talk about tell me about Bo Horvat's personality. What makes him that much more exciting than Brock Besser?
Okay, he's not that much more exciting than Brock Besser, but he's
like a cheese sandwich with a little cucumber in it.
He's like the solid, dependable guy. He's the captain, like, pretty much. So
I think if you followed the team back then, you would have thought Naslund was also a boring personality.
Sure.
Was Naslund along the same lines?
I think the public face that we saw, definitely, but you always heard how, like, Marcus Naslund had a very sharp wit, and, like, that combination of Bertuzzi, Naslund, Morrison, apparently, you know, they drove the room. Like, there was personality there. It's just that, you know, it's no different like Henrik and Daniel. I would suggest that Henrik and Daniel, until we really got to know them, they were cheese sandwiches.
Yeah.
But you could see that come through. I think to the point Matt's raising, I think Brock's got personality, but he doesn't need to go and be that type of person. He doesn't need to be the BX on the team. He doesn't need
I just feel like deep down there is this, like, fire in Brock Besser that wants to be the best player on the ice every night, and you see some of that energy on the ice. And for me, like, sure, he's not going to give you, like, this great sound clip that you're going to remember for the rest of time, but he is, like, just as part of this future leadership core as anybody else, and I think it's because underneath all that, he has a great personality.
I agree with that. I just think, like, you know, when you hear him saying, like, oh, that he's so determined to win, he, like, sounds like he's about to fall asleep. Like, his voice is just, like... So, I'm not saying I want him to be, like, this firecracker guy. I'm just saying watching a half-hour documentary about him was pretty boring.
And the answer to the question about what sandwich is Kevin Bieksa, he's a milk hot dog.
That's a great one. I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for, folks. History.
Can we talk about... By the way, just random aside, we'll take 2 minutes about this. Did you watch After Hours with Scott Oak and Elias Pettersson?
I actually had turned it off.
Did you watch it?
No, I've seen.
Don't worry, you didn't miss much.
Yeah.
I can't watch Scott Oak on After Hours anymore.
They just show people tweets.
It was like 20 minutes of just awkward questions.
I understand that our friend Clayton Emo got himself some airtime.
Who?
Emo.
Who? Yes, he got a shout out. Like, that was the first thing he opened up with, did Scott Oak, is the remix that he did for Pettersson.
Except he called him Clay Imu.
Did he call him Imo?
Yeah, apparently this is like the third time that Oak has butchered Clay's name, and every time Clay goes and corrects him. Speaking of Clay, Clay won like the Budweiser
fan beer package that he will never drink.
Exactly. Good on Clay.
I mean, like, I wouldn't drink it either.
I don't know who that is.
So the person that's dead to Matt, formerly known as Clay, it's actually a gift card to Sports Bar.
Oh,
so
then I would use that.
He can go buy $12 glasses of like Pepsi or whatever it is they serve there.
Well, maybe he should take us instead.
But yeah, to the point of though, after hours, I
can't. Yeah, it's just like
I'm finding it's much more manufactured now.
Yeah,
like, you think back to like
manufactured.
And maybe it's just part of the era, but you would get some personality on there. The players would have fun. Now the players are sort of very.
Yeah, I really feel like the first couple of seasons I started watching hockey were the last good ones of After Hours, and the last few have just.
Let's put it this way: After Hours was a lot more fun when Kevin Bieksa was on it.
No, but that's the thing is you got players who had fun with it. They ran with
Corey
it.
Schneider,
right? Like.
Oh, a little bit of Jannik Hansen.
Yeah.
That you don't see that from a lot of the players that are on it now, and I don't know if it's just that the media coaching is that much more.
Well, they don't give them much space, do they? It's like literally being like, "Hey, remember this time you were funny in a tweet?"
Gotta pick up my rundown
or
here.
this funny thing that happened, and they have to be like, "Yeah, that was funny."
Yeah. Do you remember that time you were funny? Were you funny? Yeah, it was funny. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. That is literally what After Hours is.
We'll be back tomorrow with hometown hockey in Kapuskasing, Ontario.
Getting back on track here after we're off the rails for a brief second.
Yeah.
Vancouver Canucks heading into the Christmas break. I think it was 3 points back of the Oilers for a wild card spot. Mind you, the Oilers do have 2 games in hand. You look at the Christmas season as that official halfway point of the regular season. If you're the Vancouver Canucks and you're in the GM Jim Benning room, do you buy or sell at the trade deadline?
Okay, first of all, buy? No way, Jose. Seriously.
I had a friend.
It's like the darkest timeline.
I had a friend in a hockey pool group chat of mine. He said that the Canucks should go all in for Jaden Schwartz from the St. Louis Blues.
Yeah, I hope you no longer have a friend.
I told him! This is the same guy who's a big Louis Eriksson apologist, and he shall forever be.
That says it.
This is also the same guy who said, hot take, I would take Capo Caco over Jack Hughes if I had the chance.
So why is he your friend?
I don't know. He just likes to make my blood boil.
Okay.
Anywho.
Yeah, I think
buy or sell?
Nexus is of the same opinion as me. He's yelled sell 3 times, and yeah.
Is it fair to at least, if I'm going to ride on the fence, is it okay to stand pat?
Well, that's technically what they've done the last 2
seasons. Because I feel like that's what the needle is moving towards for me personally.
So if the Canucks were to... sell is the way they need to go. But if they were to go with like for like, where projects haven't worked out and they bring in another project, that would be the most I'd want to see.
And even that, it's just kind of deflating because you're not seeing any added value.
Yeah, they should be sell. But ultimately, we do know the answer. Who's sellable? Everything except for Pettersson, Horvat.
I think the prime ones, Redler and Tanev, seems to be the big 2.
And it's just that do the Canucks have assets that are
desirable?
Yeah.
Right, but we've just got to explore and see what's out there.
Oh yeah, no, I pick up the phone, and if anyone offers you, a bag of pucks for any player that they want to take off the, next 3 years, because they got the GM Jim Benning special, hey, have at it.
I'll take half a pick.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. But...
So for both of you, though, the best course of action still remains the fact that even though the Canucks are still, quote unquote, within the hunt, it's still to sell.
I've told you, it's the darkest timeline. If they think that they can buy, and I think I mentioned this a few episodes back, where the scariest thing is that the Canucks were still in the playoff picture, having lost as many games as they did. What's this going to mean that when February rolls around and they suddenly think, hey, we've got a chance.
And we're on another run of 6 games.
Yeah. The worst thing that they might go and do is bring in a part that's more than a rental just to give them that little extra, because that's going to cost them.
Yeah.
And it's going
to cost you, Chief.
That's right.
Again, I don't disagree, but just to play devil's advocate, it doesn't seem right now, on paper, that the Canucks are going to finish in the basement like we all thought they could. Does it maybe not serve them in their interest just to see what happens and just hold on to the players and pieces that they have?
I don't know. That's with a
like
gym...
if you're not gonna finish in the basement. This is the polar opposite to, by the way, what I've been thinking for a long time. But if you're not going to finish in the basement and you're not going to finish in the playoffs, maybe you just do your best and quote unquote play the right way, as Travis Green has said.
Bring the juice.
Yeah, I think that's sounds like Jim Benning right there.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Somebody drugged me before this podcast.
Yeah. With a GM like Jim Benning, like that seems like don't put your fingers in a cage because something's gonna bite. Like, don't let him explore what's out there.
I just don't think realistically Benning is going to trade away their most tradable assets.
Well, when you say tradable assets, you mean the untouchables, right?
No, I'm saying like they won't trade away guys who are on expiring contracts / 1 year left contracts, Edler and Tanev.
Oh, well
the thing is, they're not going to get any more tradable.
Edler's not going to waive, though. Tanev...
We don't know that for sure.
I'm pretty sure Edler's not going to waive.
I've always said this. Cash's paychecks be here forever. But...
That's what Louis Eriksson does now.
No, Louis Eriksson's running into the dark zone where he could be sent off to Robida Island, so I don't know if he would simply accept that to cash a paycheck elsewhere. I actually think Edler is reaching a point in his career where he may go, and if offered an opportunity to go to a sure thing...
But what's changed? What's changed for Alex Edler to say, in previous postseason press conferences that he wants to be part of this, to now saying, second thought, I'd rather be a contender?
Well, maybe the team's just passing over him, right?
Well, and the fact that you look at what other players, like especially defensemen, have had to endure to stay in the league. I mean, the Canucks just played the Edmonton Oilers, who have Jason Garrison on their lineup. Mm-hmm. He got on it through a PTO. Ultimately, you could argue that he did that through sheer effort.
Jag.
But that's the thing. Edler has reached that stage where, can you suggest that he might be that guy who suddenly is on a PTO? Like, is he reaching the stage of Kevin Bieksa's career where his, next greatest thing is playing in the World Championships?
I don't know. I guess this is maybe just me getting worn down from Alex Edler over the years. I just think that I'm resigning myself to the very real possibility Alex Edler is just going to end up retiring as a Vancouver Canuck.
Yeah, and I have been in that camp up until recently. But I
Congratulations, Alex. You wore me down. Like, I just accept you will be here. We will have to pull his dead corpse out of Rogers Arena at this point.
Wow, okay. That went super dark. I was just going to say it's like someone asking you out like 20 times, and then you finally say yeah.
I want to take us briefly off the rails, and that's because Matt introduced it. Okay, you said the corpse out of Rogers Arena.
Oh, God, where are we going?
No, so on Reddit, there was this person who posted they had gone to a Canucks game, and they were told by this young woman, like, hey, stay in your seat, you've won something. It'll happen at some point during the game. And, from a marketing perspective, that's quite constant. Well, game goes on, it's finished. No, he never wins anything. Things kind of odd. As he's leaving, there's a different young woman who is at the gate saying, oh, hey, weren't you supposed to win something? I wonder what's going on. You should go see info. And he's like, no big deal. I came to the game, enjoyed myself, blah, blah. Now, he goes and shares this on Reddit. Says, hey, I got this weird experience. These two different women. And suddenly people are like, oh, my God, it's the Sweepstakes sisters. Apparently,
I've heard about this.
There are these ghosts that reside in Rogers Arena, these Sweepstakes sisters that appear out of nowhere, tell people they've won something. The second one goes and says, oh my God, you should have won something. Why didn't it happen? And people have actually shown up at like the info desk saying, hey, I was supposed to win something. Anyhow, and it happens so frequently. Now, I don't believe in ghosts. I think it's actually, two fans.
Two loonies.
But yeah, anyhow, speaking of corpses, ghosts in Rogers Arena. The more
it's not old enough to have ghosts.
Well,
what does this look like? Nassau Coliseum?
The backstory is that, these two women, fell over the edge of the second bowl and the main bowl and didn't make it.
Why don't you just walk into my nightmares?
No, but the thing is that that has never happened.
No.
Two people have not fallen on the second down to the first.
To my knowledge.
And perished. No, that has not happened.
Are you sure?
If you know what, I could conceivably agree that somehow in the history of the rink that I have never heard of just one person. But even then, I find that far-fetched. No way did two do it at the same time. I think it's just two fans having a good one. But the fact that, people are like, this happened to me. Anyway.
I like that they're kind of part of the laws of
the
Rogers.
Yeah.
Now, that's kind of funny.
getting back slightly on the rails to the buy or sell, question in the Athletics mailbag with JD Burt, and this had me percolating a little bit. Is now a good time to sell high on Jake Virtanen?
Does Jake fit in the future?
I think so.
I do too.
I do too. I would be very reluctant to do
it
because we put so much effort into it.
And that's what leads me to my next question. Virtanen, I think we can all agree, is having a bounce-back season. He has surpassed the expectations we had for him going into the season. There might be someone out there that says, I'm buying Jake Virtanen for real. Here's a first-round pick for him.
Okay, so if it's a silly offer, I would take a silly offer. I don't view Jake Virtanen as completely untouchable.
Of course.
But I don't view Jake Virtanen as, this is his peak, let's sell high. I think there is still growth opportunity for this kid. And the more you look at sort of the future lineup, we've already started talking about who's playing with Pettersson and who's playing with Besser and the fact that they're playing well together. There's been some good things between a Bo Horvat and a Jake Virtanen. Yeah. And to go on the world of pairs, I don't know a better pair at the moment. Or pairing, sorry, not a better pair.
Don't get me wrong. I'm fully on the Jake hype train. I've tweeted and talked about how much I like him in Discord. But it is an interesting point that had not previously been brought up, is that Virtanen is having this great bounce-back season, scratching the surface on the potential we thought he could have. There could be some teams out there that would be willing to pay a premium for a budding right-wing power forward type of player like Jake who could play, possibly get 20, 25 goals per season for the next 10 years, 8 years.
Yeah, but there is also the fact that maybe we get to see the best of him because we watch him game in, game out. I know there is such advanced
we get to see the
stats.
worst of him too.
Right, but there's such advanced stats going around. But then you look at a game like yesterday against the Oilers, and really, what did he do on paper? Not a lot. What did he do on the ice? From the eye test, he was contributing a lot. So,
and I don't
necessarily think we would get the best value out of him.
Sure, and I to that point, I don't think when we look at Jake Virtanen, I don't think Jake Virtanen hurt the Canucks, using last night as the example.
Yeah.
If the eye test pass is simply, did he hurt you? He didn't. That's good. And then when you look at the actual underlying numbers, if they're good, there's value there. You're right, though. I don't think we're going to see a significant number of teams banging down the door saying, hey, Jake, we want him. Here's the first-round pick, and is that enough?
Right, and we don't want to get, bogged down in the sunk cost fallacy of how much work we put into him. That shouldn't preclude a trade, but it does make you think that, if he stays here, that he could really blossom.
I like Jake a lot.
Me too.
It would pain me to trade for Tannen after all the hard work that went into rebuilding Jake.
We can rebuild him.
Seth Rollins.
So is the next movie from that local producer going to be Finding Jake Virtanen? Or Rebuilding Jake Virtanen?
Oh, I see where you're going with this. Yeah. As we wrap things up here on the C4 podcast, Chris, any sort of tidbits on the Canucks that you wanted to talk about?
Tidbits on the Canucks.
Petrus Palmiu going back to Finland.
Peace be with Petrus.
Yeah,
wow, that's harsh.
I thought he might be something.
I don't think he's done by any means, though. I mean, it sounds like the plan is still for him to be back in Utica next year, but to develop the rest of the season in Finland.
Yeah, and he wasn't getting ice time in Utica. I mean, for whatever reason, he wasn't getting ice time. I mean, they signed the Beard, and the Beard was getting ice time.
You know what? To be honest, that novelty wears off very quickly.
The Beard or Saucerman?
Yeah, the Saucerman and the Beard thing.
No, I look at it this way. Petrus doesn't get any time in Utica. If he's going to get time in Finland, peace be with Petrus. If he wants to come back, I hope he does. I think there's the potential there. But, he wasn't going to come up to Vancouver.
And, undersized guys, we have a fair amount already.
Yeah. Anywho.
Sven Baertschi, are we going to see him before the new year?
At this point, no.
No.
I don't think there's any rushing him back.
And it's pretty sad right now, so I'm hoping he turns a corner at some stage.
Well, he was partnering with Lind Chocolates.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like some
I
promotion.
got that. I got
like
you know,
Swiss chocolate.
Have you guys seen those
Lind,
giant ones? You know, like you get the giant Lindors with lots of little Lindors and stuff.
Yeah,
that was my work secret Santa.
Oh, really?
Or bad Santa. I stole it.
It sounds terrible.
Did Sven Berchi hand deliver it to you?
Oh, that would have been great.
Yeah.
Or his dog.
Yeah.
Bear, but no.
I know you're shaking your head, rolling your eyes. Any chance Anna and I?
But is she getting a autographed Bo Horvat and Gus bobblehead?
No.
I also don't know how I'm getting an autograph, by the way.
Just to stay off the rails, but on Sven Berchi, one of my favourite moments ever was last season when I got to go into the suite and down by the ice for warm-ups and kind of got a little treat there from Rogers. Part of it, we were waiting for the team to come out past us. You know how there's little kids there cheering them on.
All those little kids and Anna, yeah.
And me.
Anna punching her way through a bunch of little
Pretty
kids.
Much. Well, Sven Berchi was injured at the time. That was his broken foot or whatever he had last year.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's making his way to the dressing room, limping his way on his crutches. And he just gets stopped by security who don't know who he is. And he has to, get off his crutches, search through his entire jacket for his...
Oh, his pass.
For his pass. It was so funny.
You know, that's when you know things aren't going well for you, when security in your own barn...
doesn't check out.
Yeah.
And can I just say, Erica Branson strolled on through, but that's probably more of a confidence thing.
I thought you were going to say your best moment was the saucy meeting with you and Erica Branson after the game recently.
Oh, that was great.
Sorry, what?
Did you not see the picture? She uploaded it in Discord. She met Erica Branson after the game. I can't remember which game it was.
Well, you mentioned saucy. There was nothing saucy about
There was nothing saucy about it.
In my imagination.
That inappropriateness happened after the picture.
Didn't slide into your DMs?
Oh, God.
God, I wish.
Hey.
Okay, that's a good time to wrap up the C4 podcast, Chris.
Well, before we actually wrap up, I wanted to share a comment that came in at CanucksHockeyBlog.com. So we actually had a listener leave a comment, and I'm gonna read it to you. So it's Jonathan. And Jonathan says, "Hi guys, I'm a longtime listener to the show from the UK."
Shouldn't I read this?
Okay, you read it.
Just so it's in the right accent.
Yeah, sorry, my bad.
Do you know this person?
Yeah, there's only 60 million of us, so. Hi guys, I'm a long-time listener to the show from the UK. Really enjoy your mix of serious hockey chat and hockey-related humour. That's basically us going off the rails, seeing that. People enjoy it. My brother and I are going on a Canadian road trip in January to the Sens, Habs, and Leafs away games, and then the two following home games, Panthers and Coyotes. Can I just say trip of a lifetime? That sounds incredible.
Yeah, I mean, if there was a trip that I could go on, that's I think the type of trip I'd want to.
Yeah. Would be great to meet any of you if you're going to any of these games. Keep up the great work. And he says, up until recently, he's been living in Stockholm, and he's a huge Pettersson fan. Who isn't? That's pretty cool. I feel like a little celebrity here.
Now,
you followed this up by saying you're going to be at the Panthers game.
I'm at the Panthers game.
With the Larscheiders?
With the Larscheiders.
So well, guess what?
Come say hi.
Breaking news. I'm also going to the Panthers game with the Larscheiders.
Oh!
So it is on...
Wow.
Brad Evans? Jonathan Evans from Sweden. You will meet Anna Forsyth and I at the Panthers game.
Yeah, you might have to keep us apart at the last shows.
I'm going to be the one in the stands booing Anna from 3 rows away.
Hey,
Boo!
Are the Larscheiders going to start singing "Kiss 'Em Goodbye" again?
I know there was a huge debate about whether we should do that.
The traditionalist in me in a regular season game says bad form. I have no problem with a playoff game, but that was the game that eliminated that team from the postseason or something like that. But yeah, anyhow.
It was we got a little silly.
But the two of you are going to be at that game, and Panthers sitting out with the Larscheiders.
Yeah, boo!
Oh my God, Matt just threw something.
Yeah, Matt did, and as HR, I have to sanction you for that. But the two of you, if Jonathan finds the two of you, there will be a picture that will be taken.
Yes.
Yes. We will be wearing our
I'm wearing my C4 shirt right now, Chris. # company man.
You are company man.
I wore mine on Saturday. I almost tweeted and put it out in Discord, if anyone's around Kits in the next few hours, come say hi.
You should have. I am not wearing my shirt. I wear it.
You want to come to the Panthers game with us?
When is the Panthers game? I don't know.
It's not until January.
Something.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe. I don't know. I'll ask the Larscheiders for a ticket, stand up all game. I'm old.
Should we have you wearing a giant sandwich board also promoting the C4 podcast?
I figured the two of you are going to be wearing your shirts doing that.
Oh.
That don't sell the podcast.
That's almost as bad as the Sweepstakes sisters.
That may or may not exist.
I'm telling you.
Reddit will know.
Yeah. Chris, as we wrap things up, why don't you tell people where they can find us?
Yeah, you can find us every which place that you might look. Now, if you're listening to us right now live, obviously wherever the heck that happens to be, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Spotify, we're on all of them. So please continue listening. Click that subscribe button. Send us some reviews. And we haven't had any reviews to read in a while. I know there are thousands and thousands of you out there. I see the metrics. So, only a handful of you just need to smash that review button. As Anna would say, 5 out of 5 stars. This podcast sucks because that's what counts. Also, if you want to get in on the inside edge, join us on Discord. Now, we know there are a few of you out there that, have been contemplating, like, what is this Discord thing these guys are talking about all the time? Well, it's a great app that you can install on your phone. You can just use it on your computer. You don't even have to have the app on your phone. You get to chat with us about hockey all the time. We talk about Gate 16. That's our Canucks chat channel. So to join us on Discord, you just have to go to bit.ly/C4 Discord. And that C4 Discord is in all caps. It's all capital letters. We are on Facebook, facebook.com/C4 Podcast, and on Twitter at the C4 Podcast. And one final note, as you also heard from the last episode, is that if you support us on Patreon, you will likely be able to get yourself a shout out. But more importantly than that, $1 a month gets you into listening to us live. That's right.
That's a bargain.
We have patrons supporting us right now, listening to us live, heckling Matt for his poor takes, telling Anna that she's right for referencing the fact that Brock Besser is nothing more than a cheese sandwich.
Yeah.
And, where else can you do that? No other podcast gives you that level of access.
That's some hard-hitting analysis, eh?
Yeah. But as we wrap up this episode...
at least he's a brie sandwich. If there's a kind of cheese that Brock Besser is...
There's nothing continental about Brock Besser. His name is Brock Besser.
But brie starts with BR, and Brock starts with BR as well.
American. He has American cheese.
What's wrong with American cheese?
I'm so looking forward to parenthood as Ariel gets older because I'm getting good practice with these two kids in this room. But as we wrap up the episode...
Can we get a pool dad? Can we get a pool dad? Can we get a pool dad?
Can we get ice cream?
That's right, yeah. Any final words of wisdom you want to share with our listeners before we go into the holidays? And just to let everyone know, this is the last episode, or at least the last regular episode that you're going to hear in 2018.
We've got a Patreon-only podcast coming out next week as well, right?
Yeah, that's right, for the holidays, because, again, those who exclusively choose to listen in, they get extra access. But, yeah, this is our last regular episode for the year. So, final words, any wishes?
Christmas gift to Brock Besser is a chocolate personality as opposed to a vanilla personality. Let's get him a Neapolitan ice cream personality or something, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Anna?
He's a Rocky Mountain Road kind of personality.
You've had your say, Matt. Anna?
I just want to say happy holidays to all the great C4 listeners out there.
Mm-hmm. And I
notice how she didn't say happy holidays to us, Chris.
Well, no, because the C4 listeners are more important than you and I. Even I know that. But I'd like to reiterate what Anna just said. I want to wish all of our listeners a very happy holiday. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year for those who do choose to celebrate.
Hanukkah, Kwanzaa.
Whatever it is you choose to do this time of year, I wish you all of the best. You will hear us again in 2019. It's almost a year away, give or take, 11 months and 2 weeks. But the point being, we are going to be back coming into you live-ish, depending on if you're a patron or not, first thing in the new year. If you are a patron who's exclusively listening, as Matt had already told you, you will get an extra episode. We are giving you a holiday episode. You'll see that show up through Patreon on around the 25th of December, and then first thing in January, we will be back. So on behalf of Matt Lee, at MattLee_61, Anna Forsyth at A4Forsyth03, the Missing in Action, Adam Ovenel Carter at AdamFOC, and myself, Chris Golden at Lightforce, we've got 2 words for you. We're out.
Thanks for listening to the C4 Podcast on CanucksHockeyBlog.com.